this job doesn't pay enough.
I started the first year, 15 was hard because Social Security didn't pick up till I had 30 years, but that's all I had. I had just the
You're talking
pension.
about your pension
I
with the
took it
state?
at 62. So the benefits of the state were at 30 years, but I didn't have Social Security as well. Now I'm fine because I'm both. And this.
Oh, does he?
Wow.
I started taking Social Security.
Take it early or you take it?
I took it Social Security early. And I bought time with the school system, I'm sure that I had taken time on my leave time.
Oh, is he?
I bought myself out, 30, yeah. I had 29 points.
I gotta talk to him.
Would have been fine in October, but I thought that's just not fair to me or the kids to go back, start a school year, and then
So,
go have substitutes. So I got out. Best thing I ever did. Because I had a principal who just did it.
I enjoy what I do.
Ready for Christmas?
I'm kind of, they don't mess around. They don't think about it. Stand up.
Maybe turkey and all that?
So my daughter's going to hire my daughter to come work. Actually, she's hiring my daughter to come work for me part-time. Because I do
I got my tree.
filing. I don't do scheduling.
I got mine up before I left to go to town for Thanksgiving. It's a small one, real thin, because I don't have a lot of space in the house. So it just kind of fits in the corner.
Still,
The job
it's
done.
a lot of work, man.
Doesn't get to.
I
Skinny little
come
tree.
down to about
It's in the corner.
That's what you have too?
She hit me up today. I gotta have you bring in some more money.
did he?
Advertising up in Safety Harbor. I'm like,
We had to have a family meeting yesterday on what our new inflatable for the yard was going to be.
Before you do it,
We
Your new inflatable art?
Yeah, the inflatables that you blow up for the yard. We lost a couple of them last year, so we had to have a family meeting on what we were going to replace them with.
All right.
Chose a nativity scene. We lost a nativity scene, so we're just not the whole nativity. It's just Mary, Joseph, and Jesus.
Limited extended family.
first 250 plus, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think we're ready, right? Yeah, 7 o'clock. How do we say this for us? Oh, Genie. G-E-N-I-E? It's like Genie. I would say Genie Zero. Genie Zero. You all ready? How do you say that? Genie. You good, Jacob? You ready?
Ready.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the City Commission meeting of Monday, December 2nd. At this time, I would like to call Jeannie Zier from Bayside Community Church to please come forward to lead us in the invocation. So if everyone would please stand and then remain standing for the pledge to the flag.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello. Thank you for having us here tonight. We appreciate that. Will you join me in a moment of prayer? Heavenly Father, we come to you with grateful hearts today, and we honor our city, our strength and resilience. Lord, we thank you for the City of Safety Harbor, its leaders and its people that stand together as we recover from this fall and the hurricanes. We're so grateful for the many neighbors, city commissioners, the county employees, and the people that protected and cleaned up our communities, our streets, and city parks. God, we ask for you to continue to guide us as we make decisions to restore and rebuild our community. And we thank you for the leaders in this room that choose to serve and lead this community and for the trust that is placed in each of them. We ask for your presence in this room this evening, for the discussions that they're filled with clarity, respect for one another, and grant us the wisdom to make decisions that reflect justice, compassion, and the well-being of the people of our beautiful city. May your peace guide our hearts and minds during this upcoming holiday season. May we be good stewards of the resources that you've entrusted to us, and may every action that we take be a reflection of your love and grace. God, we thank you for this day. May your will be done in this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. All right, so we have a few presentations tonight. The first one is a years of service recognition for Elizabeth Hickey. Is Elizabeth here? All right, would you like to come forward? Did I say, is it Hickey or? Yeah, it's Hickey, right? Just like what?
The special mark.
The special, all right, good, good.
Good, go Elizabeth.
Don't know what that is. And this is for 30 years of service, so thank you for being out here today. I'm going to read a few things about you, then come down and present you with a plaque and an Amazon gift card for our appreciation for your service. So in 1994, when the library had just moved to its new location on 2nd Street, Elizabeth was hired as a part-time shelver, aka a library page. In 1996, she was promoted to Library Assistant 1 and has been a part-time staff member at the circulation desk ever since. Elizabeth is consistently kind to all library patrons throughout her tenure at the library. Often referred to as the patron whisperer, Elizabeth has the ability to welcome and relax patrons and visitors, helping them enjoy their checkout experience. Elizabeth's steady presence in the library is valued by the patrons and their families, who see her as someone who is loyal to her position and to the community. She has had the unique privilege of seeing children grow up with the library, many of whom are now adults returning with their own families. Of all the staff currently at the library today, Elizabeth has seen the library grow and change to meet the needs of the community over the years. And yes, she still shelves books along with other daily circulation desk functions. So thank you very much, Elizabeth, and congratulations on your 30 years of service with the city. Would you like to say a few words, or? Nope, all right, we'll just come on down then. Okay, so now we're going to recognize some interns for the Executive Internship Partnership with Pinellas County Schools. So at this time, I would like to call Julio Rangel to come forward, and we're recognizing Dr. Mary Black, Programs Director at Pinellas County Executive Internship Program. So do you both want to come forward? And I have something to read for both of you, and then I'm going to come down and present you with a certificate. And do you know what we have in here, Rachel? Let's just take a peek. Oh, you get an Amazon gift card too. And a very nice note from me. So let's see here. All right, so this is a biography for Dr. Mary Black. Dr. Mary Black is the program coordinator for Pinellas County Schools Executive Internship Program. Dr. Black has been program coordinator educational partner with the City of Safety Harbor since 1993 and has provided opportunities for 45 student interns to participate in the executive internship program with various city departments. Dr. Black has been an educator for 41 years, serving in the experiential educator role for 33 years, and has fostered and promoted secondary experimental education programs throughout Florida and the nation through membership in the Society for Experimental Education. Dr. Black earned a doctoral degree in educational technology, Master of Science degree in computer science, a graduate certificate in educational leadership, and holds state certifications in 6 PK through 12 content areas. Also, Dr. Black has been an adjunct professor at St. Petersburg College for 33 years. In her efforts in promoting the importance of secondary experimental education, earned the Executive Internship Program national recognition as a best practice by the United States School to Work Office. Throughout her career, Dr. Black has been dedicated to furthering the Executive Internship Program continuum so as to create exceptional learning opportunities for high school seniors, to create a growing network of high-level professionals who are growth and community-minded, and to connect students to outstanding professionals such as the teams at the City of Safety Harbor, who are dedicated to impacting and shaping the future through their mentorship. So, thank you very much for being out here. And would you like to say anything?
I'd just like to express how very much I've always appreciated the City of Safety Harbor. You have such a wonderful group of professionals who share, who are not afraid to bring new faces, fresh voices into the fold and to promote the future. It's just been a beautiful thing. And I'm very proud and honored to have had this educational partnership.
Well, thank you for coming out. I'm going to present these certificates at the same time, but now I'm going to talk about Julio here for a little bit. So, let's see. All right, so here's the biographical information for Julio. Julio Rangel is currently a participating student intern in the City Engineering Department from September 24th through December 5th, 2024. Julio is the Engineering Department's 15th student intern through the Pinellas County Executive Internship Program headed by Dr. Mary Black, the Executive Internship Program Coordinator. Julio is a graduating high school senior at Countryside High under the Early Admissions Program. As an intern with the City of Safety Harbor's Engineering Department, Julio has spent his time learning about civil engineering as well as the contributions of the Engineering Department on city development. Julio is currently taking college courses at St. Petersburg College and will graduate high school with an associate's degree. Julio hopes to be accepted to the University of Florida to pursue a master's degree in civil engineering. Outside of school, Julio plays varsity baseball for his high school and is an active member of the National Honor Society, doing volunteer work for his local community. Julio is passionate about engineering and aspires to continue to create meaningful impacts on the world through innovation and determination. So Julio, thank you for being out here and for everything you did for the city for your internship. Is there anything you'd like to say while you're here?
I'd just like to say that I would like to thank Dr. Black as well as the engineering department for the opportunity. I'm so grateful to be an intern for the City of Safety Harbor.
And thank you again to both of you. I've checked. I said go over. All right, Shannon, you taking this one?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Here tonight to present the benefactor checks to our nonprofits for Fright Nights at Folly Farm. Fright Nights, we had our fourth annual Fright Night Halloween event on October 25th and 26th. which we are very grateful that it was able to take place. We had over 30 trees that were down on the property, completely blocking the trail. So Garden Club, Leisure Services, and contractors really put in the extra effort to make the event happen. We ended up having 2 benefactors that had to back out of the event, but it did allow for a new benefactor to join us, which was the Safety Harbor Lions Club. The event had sold 1,300 tickets over the 2 nights. We had 238 volunteers, completed 1,190 hours. In order for a nonprofit to become a benefactor, they do have to commit to both nights, supply all the volunteers, construct a scene on the trail. The city does not do any of the scenes on the trail. We do all the logistics, but it's really the nonprofits that pull that event together. So we are very grateful. We could not do it without them. With the volunteers, we had returning this year the East Lake National Honor Society, along with some students from Countryside High School. And they are there just to support the nonprofits. So they put that volunteer work in just to see the nonprofits benefit so they can give back to the community. And we do have some students here tonight, along with some members of the nonprofit organizations. One more thing I want to add is our sponsor for the event is Renaissance Real Estate. Not only do they contribute financially to the event, but they also coordinate all the leaders and the followers. So it's truly a huge community effort to put this event on, and very grateful. I'd like to invite all of any nonprofit organizations that are here tonight and any of the students to come up, and the mayor, if you could come down and present our fund check.
So for everyone to see, we are presenting this check here for $6,600. Real checks will be mailed, but this will make a good photo op, right?
Each nonprofit will be receiving $1,100 from the event.
Oh, good. Is there room for me to squeeze in some? Oh, sorry. You're okay, you're okay. Helping out?
I have a couple cameras, so don't scoot out of here too fast, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3, get up there. Oh, are we missing somebody?
Yes, Holly.
Oh.
Holly is one of the teachers that pulls it all together.
All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, and hold tight. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Anybody else? All right.
Yeah, right.
All right, now we have a library second floor construction update.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me back. I think I was here the end of August for our first update of the construction. And if I could figure out how to make this work. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is our second report of the construction since progress from September to December. Thank you, Cece. Oh, if you remember, our official start was February 12th of this year, and in September we had lots of milestones. We had interior framing that started and continued, and you can see the internal framing. It happened at a very quick pace, and the interior stairwell construction started. You can see that purple drywall there, that's mold preventive drywall. The exterior stairs and sidewalk were formed and poured, and mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough-in started, which I know is now called MEP. so I'm learning all the terms. In October, you can see the interior drywall started, and then there's that purple. What you're looking at in those pictures are the new meeting room on the east side of the building, which overlooks Philippi Parkway. And you can see how the front of the building looked in October. You can see the small windows on top of each other is the elevator shaft, and the other large portion with the windows, the group of windows, is the stairwell. It's quite of a large stairwell. But the material, the metal roof on the west side stairwell started. Exterior pressure washing and paint began. Interior drywall, you can see there, began. The mechanical, electrical, and plumbing continued. A concrete floor was poured on the sidewalk and the decorative stone cap installed. And you can kind of see that, but in the next, there's a couple pictures you can see that better. And there were very minimal delays from both, all the storms that we had. You might have noticed how the beautiful new roof has been coming along. The barrel tile was removed on the existing portion of the building, and the peel and stick was installed prior to the metal roof installation. And these pictures are from local photographer Fred Bessard. In November, things started to shape up and look very different. The metal roof and gutter installation began. Exterior paint was complete and the trim was started. You can see that is the color of the paint on the left-hand picture. Drywall and interior stairwell and the south stairwell was installed. There's this picture of the south stairwell on the right. The elevator was delivered, and assembly and install work started just last week on the elevator. The elevator came in parts, and they assemble it inside of the building, so it's quite interesting. And then our rotunda lighting began, which was our last portion of our lighting upgrade. Our project is now 70% complete, and we have received our second payment from the the Florida State Library grant. So we have received 2 payments so far from that grant. More pictures of November milestones. You can see the roof being installed, and it was very interesting install. They bring the panels of aluminum on a truck and they cut it and fabricate it there. So you can see some pictures of how the roof started to look with the install. What you can see there in the 2 pictures in the upper left, the boxes of the elevator, and then there's a picture of the elevator shaft itself. We are the first elevator in a city building in the city of Safety Harbor. Only going up 1 floor, but December, which just began, these are the things that are going to be happening. We have our color board of our interior colors, and exterior paint and trim is continuing and being completed. The elevator will be installed. Ceiling grid will be installed, but prior to that, we'll have security camera, overhead paging, and our hearing loop installed. The hearing loop is courtesy of the Chrissy Elmore Library Trust Fund, which is sponsoring that device. The metal roof on the west stairwell and overall completion of the roof will happen this month, and so will the rotunda lighting, so we'll be able to see, patrons will be able to see the things in the entrance of the library. And the awnings are on order and in fabrication, which will really tie the whole exterior of the building together. I believe it's a building that we're all going to be proud of for many, many years to come. We're getting closer and we're on schedule for a spring grand opening. And anytime you want to, if you want to come for a sneak preview, we can arrange it with our general contractor, who are doing a bang-up job, along with Michelle, who has really kept this project on track. She is up to, I believe, 52 change orders on this, and is the most organized person I've ever seen in my life. So she has helped keep this on track and everything going. And with the help of Long and Associates and Michelle, we're moving right along. But it looks quite different. That picture doesn't have the roof on it, but the roof really does tie the whole building together, and we're excited about the whole finished product. So, Any questions?
Looking good. Thank you
It's
very
looking
much.
good. And,
Yeah.
and we do have the youth services tree, the internal tree, being fabricated. I don't know where it is right now, but we have that going too. So there'll be some changes in the youth department also.
I know the moms of Safety Harbor will appreciate that.
They're happy. They'll be happy to get their space back. They were there this morning and it's kind of tight.
Yeah.
Everybody will be happy to get the space back,
Great.
so.
Well, it's
Any
looking good.
questions?
Thank you very much.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
any
you.
questions, anyone? Yep, all right. All right, so now is the audience to be heard portion of the meeting. So if there's anyone here in attendance that wishes to be heard on an item that's not on the regular agenda or that's on the consent agenda, please come forward, state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes to address the commission. Okay, moving on to consent agenda, we have 2 items. The first one is approval of the November 18th City Commission meeting minutes, and the second is approval or denial of a water services annexation agreement for a property located at 754 Elm Street. Does anyone want to pull any of these items? All right, do we have a motion?
Move approval of consent agenda items 1 and 2.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Next up is public hearings. First one is a quasi-judicial site plan approval to add a 2,413 square foot building addition to a manufacturing office building. Who's taking this? All right, and this is quasi-judicial, so we got to run through a couple of things, right? So do we have any affected parties here that need to be sworn in? All right, just you, Cecilia,
And the applicant?
is the applicant? Okay, and then just one last question for anyone on the city commission. Has anyone had any communication with the applicant?
No.
All right, neither have I.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Before you is the site plan application for 550 10th Avenue South. So the applicant is Gulf Coast Consulting. The site is about 0.28 acre and currently is manufacturing and office, so it's been used as a contractor office. The development proposal today is a site plan application to add a 2,413 square feet building addition to a manufacturing office building. The TRC has completed the application, completed the review of the application and has no concerns. The Planning and Zoning Board unanimously recommended approval of the site plan with the conditions stated in the site plan. So the property is located within the SC2 character district where business and professional offices, warehouses, and construction service establishments are all permitted use by right. So offices are only a conditional use if it exceeds 50% of the gross floor area, but the office use of this proposal is under 50%, so it's permitted by right. Surrounding uses including manufacturing and warehouse uses to the north and to the south. This is the CSX Railroad to the east. And to the west, this is the Crooked Thumb Microbrewery. Here's a picture of the site. This is the existing building, and here are some existing parking spaces. This is the other half of the building. So as you can see, this site doesn't currently have any trees or landscaping, and there's only one palm tree exists on the site. And the second half is empty. So this is the proposed site plan. Here is the existing structure, and then this shaded area is the proposed building addition. So these are the existing parking spots. I would like to mention that part of these parking spots are outside of the property boundary, but since this site was developed a very, very long time ago, this is considered a legal non-conforming situation. And then 8 parking spaces are required. I will go into detail for the parking calculation in a second, but 7 spaces already exist, so they only need 1 ADA parking space, and the applicant is proposing to add the ADA parking space over here. So staff has reviewed the building addition and did not have any concern with the layout. The staff did mention, did have a concern with the placement of this dumpster, because Public Works has wondered if the solid waste truck will be able to maneuver in and out of the site properly. And we also had a concern originally about whether this AA parking space will have any maneuverability issue. So in response, the applicant provided an auto-turn analysis stating the city sanitation pickup truck will be able to maneuver in and out properly, and this is for the ADA parking space. So there is no maneuverability concerns anymore. And then here is also a landscaping plan. The applicant is proposing to remove the one palm tree and replant it over here, the civil palm. And then they're also planting a few more trees, including like holly, eagle, I don't remember exactly what they're called, but there are like some shade trees and just to satisfy the minimum shade tree requirements, and also offering some buffering on all three sides of the property. So here's a parking analysis. According to the Land Development Code, a total of 8 parking spaces are required, and one of them will be an ADA parking space. So the proposed site plan satisfies all the parking requirements, and also the bicycle parking requirements. So below are the draft conditions recommended by staff. The general condition, number 1, any improvement within the public right-of-way, easements, or publicly owned properties will require a right-of-way permit. Roadways and sidewalk closure will require Public Works Department authorization, proper permitting, barricades, detours, and approved maintenance of traffic plans. Number 2, plan shows the site will be utilizing existing utilities. If this changes, plan revisions will be required. Number 3, solid waste generated on site shall not exceed 1.3 tons per year per capita. Because the applicant stated that they will have 8 employees, so the solid waste generation shall not exceed 57 pounds per day total for a 7 days work week, or 80 pounds per day total for a 5-day work week. This is according to the adopted city level service standards. And prior to the construction plan approval, the applicant shall provide a Swift Money exemption letter for the environment resource permit. We have already received this document. Number 5, backflow device should be required if not present. Property owner must pay for this device through the city's utility billing. Prior to issuance of the first certificate of occupancy. Number 6, tree removal permits must be completed prior to any tree removals. Number 7, a sign permit is required for any proposed signages. Number 8, a fence permit is required for the proposed dumpster enclosure. And number 9, if any modifications are made to the stormwater plan, it must be approved by SWIFMUD and the city. So staff has reviewed the site plan application and has satisfied all criteria. So tonight, the city commission may approve with modification, or deny this application. Staff recommend approval with all the conditions stated in the staff report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cecilia.
I have a quick question. Yep. Is there, with this lot, is there any permeable area on the lot? I know there's a lot of asphalt and concrete. Is there any like permeable soil or gardening area or something, or is it just all sheet runoff?
I believe
during rain?
currently they're all concrete, but in the community redevelopment district and also specifically in this district, we do not have impervious surface ratio requirement.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are proposing a lot of plants and trees, so that's going to improve the situation.
Is there a business operating right now there, or?
Yes.
This business is expanding, or?
It is expanding, yeah, because I know there has been a contractor's office there, so.
All right, does the applicant wish to give a presentation?
I do not, no. But
Okay.
I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? All right.
Just a statement.
Yep.
Looks like a nice addition to the neighborhood. Looks very nice. Thank you.
Anyone from the audience wish to be heard on this item? All right, well, any further discussion or a motion?
I'll move approval.
Do you want to do it with the conditions? I think there were 9 conditions up there.
Oh, yes. I'll move approval with the 9 listed conditions. Thank you, Mayor.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Cecilia. Now we have a Hurricane Helene Milton recovery and restoration update. Thank you. Good luck.
Good evening, Mayor. This is an update on our recovery updates following Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. The post-emergency recovery period began on Monday, October 14th, and is planned to conclude on Sunday, December 29th, unless extended by staff. As of this evening, all parks are reopened with the exception of the boardwalk. Storm debris disposal continues by our public works staff, as well as ensuring normal flow of all creeks. Substantial damage assessments continue. This evening, the City Commission will review 3 FEMA agreements for your approval regarding to Hurricanes Debbie, Hilton, Helene, and Milton. Staff will continue to budget and plan for repairs. This Friday, the City Commission's emergency permit and fee waiver program ends. And we have no staff presentations this evening. However, several of us are here if the City Commission has any questions, comments, or concerns for our current state of recovery.
The only input I've got was kudos to the city for getting everything done, getting everything back running. So I don't have any questions. It seems to me that we're doing pretty good comparatively speaking. So I would just say thank you to staff. That's what I would say.
And I wanted to say the same thing. I want to thank you. I want to thank Renee. I want to thank everyone on your all teams. I want to thank Parks and Rec staff that were out there cleaning up the parks and everything else. I think if I remember 30,000 cubic yards of construction and demolition and vegetative debris removed. And, as the Vice Mayor said, we were ahead of other cities in the area. Just funny, you drive down Bayshore going south and everything's looking pretty good, and then you cross over to Clearwater and then you see all the garbage bags and all the stuff outside. So, I know we did a good job, compared to other cities. So, and I think most residents appreciate that too. I got a lot of feedback from residents pointing out how good the city did in cleaning everything up. So thank you all.
So has all the debris been removed from the, where we had it stored?
No, it's still there. So now we're just focused on disposing of that debris. From what I believe is correct, there are 3 sites we bring that to, private contractors. And that's just occurring every day over time. And, but I don't have, it's still ongoing.
Right. I do have one question. So I was on the boardwalk, I think yesterday, Saturday, anyway. I saw the end of our, I guess, pier, it looked like to me, washed up along the boardwalk. Are we just waiting till the demolition team comes to pick that up and move that out too?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Just sitting there on a sandbar.
So it has, waiting for our salvage company, and then a lot of that has to be handled and managed in a appropriate fashion.
I'll echo what everybody else said. I had it kind of my notes to review later, but yeah, I got to get around the Pinellas County a little bit over Thanksgiving, and we've just done such a really nice job compared to most of the other communities around here getting ourselves cleaned up. There's still just a lot of stuff everywhere else. So yeah, really great job, everybody. But I did want to touch on the boardwalk too. I know we got some information a few weeks ago, but I'm a little fuzzy on what we're looking at there on the boardwalk, or maybe we don't really know yet what it's going to take to get that reopened.
Sure. So I know Andrea's here just in case I miss it, but we're still waiting for feedback from, we've gone from our insurance company to our adjuster to another engineering firm to look at the boardwalk. So the worry is that there's some washout where the vertical supports are. So there's concern about those vertical supports, their stability, and then just some unstableness of those areas of the boardwalk. So we're waiting on some final determination from the engineering firm that's been delegated that item from our insurance adjuster.
That's good.
All right,
Mayor, I'm happy to keep this on here as a periodic update, and the next update will be, I feel, is end of January, and we'll report back to the commission if there's anything that comes up that is worthy of a quicker update.
okay, yeah, that was helpful. Thank you. So we're gonna pull old business number 2. We're gonna move to new business, and the first item is approval of the Downtown Partnership Grants Interior Renovation category for $45,000.
Good evening, Carol Strickland, Community Development Director. Every year, the CRA budgets $100,000 in our downtown partnership grants that's distributed over 2 grant cycles. So this is the fall grant cycle. A total of $9,037.86 was requested for some of the smaller grant categories. But the grant program also can provide up to $45,000 per budget year for interior renovations, with a maximum award of $15,000. So this year, we did receive 3 applications for $15,000 for interior renovations for Rocking Delicious at 101 Main Street. They're expanding into an adjacent suite for a small cafe. Interior renovations for Therapeutic Massage Center at 500 Main Street, and also for the recently completed improvements for United Smokehouse at 519 2nd Street South. So the applications were attached in your package. Recently completed projects are eligible for the grants, provided that the money's available. So the city manager and staff are recommending formal approval by the City Commission for the 3 interior renovation grants in a total amount of $45,000.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Strickland? All right, do we have a motion?
Move approval of
Second. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next up is approval or denial of ordinance 2024-16 on first reading.
An ordinance of the City of Safety Harbor, Florida, annexing certain property located at 517 Woodell Drive, Safety Harbor, Florida, into the corporate limits of the city, providing for publication in accordance with the requirements of law, providing for an effective date, and this is presented for first reading.
For the record, Cecilia Chen, Community Planner, GIS Analyst. Mayor and Commissioners, before you is the annexation application for 517 Woodell Drive. So this is a property located on Woodell Drive. And then it's a single-family residential. So this property is about 0.25 acres. Currently is a single-family dwelling unit, and the future land use is residential low. This property is already connected to city water and sewer, and this property will be required to use city sanitation, like solid waste and recycling, once they annex. And the property is not subject to streetlight fee because we did not have any streetlight on Woodell Drive. And the property will be subject to residential stormwater fee, and the TRC has reviewed the application and has no objections. So the annexation first reading is today, the second reading will be on the 16th, and after that, that will be the zoning assignment that is scheduled in January and February next year. So tonight, the City Commission may approve or deny ordinance number 21/16 on first reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Any questions? Anyone from the audience wish to be heard on this? All right, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-16.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, so next up is the Federal Emergency Management Agency FEMA Public Assistance Subgrant Agreement.
Good evening, Renee Cooper, Public Works Director. Before you tonight is the subgrant agreement with the Florida Division of Emergency Management for our FEMA Public Assistance for 3 storms this year: Hurricane Debbie, Hurricane Helene, and Hurricane Milton. So the city has attended recovery scoping meetings with representatives from FEMA and FDEM, and we're now finalizing our list of projects and associated costs for those projects. In order to be eligible for reimbursement for our storm-related damages, the city must enter into this agreement, as we have done in previous storm events with FDEM for administration of FEMA reimbursement requests. The way that FEMA reimbursements work is typically FEMA will pay 75% reimbursement, with the state offering 12.5% and the city covering the other 12.5%. Now, there are other work categories that get covered at 100% depending upon the declaration. And for Milton and Helene, that is, debris removal will be covered at 100% reimbursement. Any questions?
This is a tough one, huh? We want
It was
to
a tough
accept the
season.
money, huh? I mean, a tough agenda item. Do we want to accept this money?
That's right.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
I was hoping so.
Well, I don't think we have any questions.
Okay.
So, thank you. Is there anyone from the audience that wishes to be heard on this? All right, do we have a motion?
Move the approval of sub-grant agreement with the Florida Division of Emergency Management.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. And now we're looking for approval of a one-time employee vacation leave buyback program.
Good evening, Mayor. On November 4th, the City Commission directed the city manager to explore hurricane relief options for employees. Staff has identified several methods to help maximize current employee benefits to better assist those in need, including a one-time vacation leave buyback program. Those who choose to participate may request up to 20 hours or equal to the number of hours accrued in their bank to sell back unused vacation hours. Administratively, those vacation hours would then be deducted from their leave bank and paid directly to the employee during the next available pay period. Staff performed calculations, including the rate of pay for all eligible employees, and estimate an approximate budgetary impact of $75,000. Payouts are not budgeted. However, a surplus of funds exists across various departments to appropriate this expenditure due to position vacancies. That surplus is there for unfilled vacant positions. We could take it from those accounts. City manager requests approval under direction from the City Commission to allow for a one-time vacation leave buyback program for eligible employees, and I'm open to any further questions, comments, or concerns you may have.
I just want to reiterate, I heard it and then I read it here. So 20 hours is what we're offering, a max of 20 hours?
Correct. So the 20 hours, after I ran, so I took everybody's available balance hours,
Yep.
and if the 40 were allotted, which I could go back and repropose that, the estimated cost was, if everybody submitted, it'd be $174,000. The 20 hours was $73,000.
Okay.
I'm happy to, entertain that or go back to the drawing board if the commission desires.
No, I think it's, 20 hours, yeah, if it's going to be too big of a budget hit, right, it's going to be tough to get there. Yeah, a lot of times when you're offering a vacation buyback, it's usually a week, right? It's kind of where a lot of us max out at, but companies that do that regularly will budget for it. So, no, I think this is a really good way to offer some cash. And this wasn't the only way. I know there were some other opportunities, borrowing from their retirement savings, things like that. So we've come up with some options that employees that were affected by the storm can get a little cash fast to help with some relief. So, yeah, I like it. Thank y'all for putting it together.
All right, does anyone from the audience wish to be heard on this item? Any further discussion or a motion?
I'll move the approval of a one-time employee vacation leave buyback program.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. So that concludes the regular portion of the meeting. Now we're going to move to commission reports. Commissioner Basur.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody who came out to what was called the Gobble Wobble for the Maddie Williams Neighborhood Family Center. It was really gratifying to see people get up early in the morning, costumed, many of them, and just do something for others. At our waterfront park is where it started, and that's another just point of joy and pride that we have that park. We're just, many of us were integral in stepping up and making sure that property was purchased, and lately making sure that it has that fine grass and that watering system, and it's just beautiful. And people just spread out, and they were all laughing and doing selfies in their turkey costumes. And so it really did my heart great. And I also want to say I hope to see many at the Mayor's Breakfast, which we're not hosting. It's over in Oldsmar. And I'm sure the mayor will know the name of the country club that's in the Eastlake area that I can't pronounce. AIDA, I think.
They changed the name, it's just the Eastlake Country Club, though.
Yes, it is,
Yeah.
but they call it something else. And we have so many things coming. We have the tree lighting, and we have the parade, and we just have, somebody called us Mayberry in a letter, I guess it was Ms. Norwood, wrote to her staff and said, thank you, staff, for helping us provide this Mayberry-esque type of atmosphere. And we really are fortunate, so I hope that many of us will get out and enjoy it. And I'm very thankful to staff. And I'm also thankful, I always have to mention the goats at least once a month. They have new purple sweaters for the recreation, purple color, and it's just precious because it's getting cold. And they have new cots. They had plastic cots that looked a little uncomfortable, and now they have these nice, they almost look like netting, brown, wider cots. And so they're actually comfortable. It might not seem like it if you go over to Folly because they're in what the Boy Scouts built, but they're living large. They have a fan, and they have the company of the chickens. So anyway, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. I stopped mentioning pickleball courts, but it looks like we are receiving some alleviation with the number of players because Dunedin just opened 10 courts. So a lot of people are spreading out across Pinellas County and playing pickleball, which I think is really good because I think our courts, they put the no parking signs up along the road. People were parking all over the place, so that's good to see other cities open up pickleball courts. I did post something on Facebook. It was just some clear cutting I brought up at the last meeting. I kind of like to see, and I don't know if it's on the drawing board, but I like to see something so that it's one thing, again, if you own the property and you want to add a pool, you want to add an addition, that's one thing, but when a lot sells in Safety Harbor to someone who's just here to benefit from profit, and I've got nothing against that, develop it, do what you want to do. But I think, what we saw on 5th Street South, and again, they got all the permits, did everything. I just think we lost a part of our canopy. Again, I don't know if all the trees were in the way, et cetera, but they clear cut all the trees on the lot. I think they saved one maybe. I think there were like 8 trees. I'd like to see something come before the commission where, at least we're in tune with what's going on before, a developer comes in basically to develop a lot, not on behalf of a actual owner of the lot, but for profit. There's got to be a mechanism in place that would allow us to say, wait a minute, time out, clear cutting all the trees on the lot is just not acceptable for our city.
You're talking about where they're building a house on 5th and 5th, I think?
Yep. Yeah, I think they took down every tree on the lot. Again, they did it through permits, but, and I don't think it's a private owner building it for themselves.
I think it is, actually.
It is?
It's someone that lives close to me that's moving from a townhome over there, and they're having it being built. So I don't know what,
I don't know, it just seems to me that's just, I don't think that's what we're about, but again, I hate to see lots clear cut, just to, there's no requirement, I don't think, to put up a tree. Is there? I don't know if there's one tree on the lot, maybe?
They do have to plant 2 shade trees.
Right.
When the project's completed.
I'd like to throw in too, I think somebody bought that lot and then
Parlayed it after they.
somebody else is now building on that lot. I think you're both right.
Yeah, it's the corner one, right?
I don't know. It's just, I've gotten a lot of
Yeah.
input from the community about that, and it just, I mean, again, you gotta take a tree down because it's in the middle of the lot. I understood, I mean, you gotta build your house, but it just seems like there were trees that came down unnecessarily. So, again, that's just my feeling is that, I don't know if there's any buy-in from the commission. I do know that people in the community were up in arms about the whole thing. It'd be nice if,
So I'm trying to back you up here. I'm just trying to think though, because at one point you were saying it's, you want to direct it towards people that are coming in for profit,
right,
and that's what triggered it. But in this case, it's a,
I don't know if it was purchased by someone that turned around to make a profit and then sold it after they clear cut it to a private, I don't know the sequence of events.
We do have it as, I believe we proposed talking about trees at our workshop in February, so
Okay.
we could include that
I'll-
in that, we already have a tree discussion on that agenda, so I think that would be a good thing we could make sure we do a subcategory of, if the commission desires that.
I mean, I'd certainly like to discuss it, whether it goes anywhere or not. I'd like to bring it up, so at least there's some discussion. I'd also like to add, in February, then also, discussion as to adding additional trees. I mean, we just lost a bunch of trees with the hurricane, but adding additional trees to, city right-of-ways if possible. Just, again, reforestation of the city, just because it just seems like we're losing a lot of trees and we're kind of a Tree City USA, and it'd be nice to at least maintain some level of canopy here in Safety Harbor. And the last thing I'd like to bring up is I know we're addressing certain areas of the creek, and that's still an ongoing thing, but what I'd like to see the city do with regard to creeks, drainage, et cetera, that is kind of like the city-owned property or city's responsibility. I'd like to see like a service list like we do with the roads, where annually there are certain areas, because it's impossible for the city to tackle all of the issues at hand now. I'm constantly receiving people walking up, talking about their flooding, the swales, and all these issues. We just don't have the money to tackle it all at once. So it seems to me it would be appropriate with regard to city responsible areas with drainage issues, et cetera, ditches, whatever, that we put it on a service list, either come up with like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, so that every so many years we service a specific area just to reduce the potential for flooding. It seems to me it's no different than the roads, the trucks, everything else. It should be on some sort of service list so that we're just addressing it over time.
Is that for just city-owned property?
City-owned, yes, not.
I think I want to add a little bit. I think there should be some kind of inspection.
That's essentially, yeah.
Inspection on private, on private property, for those water areas that are, important. Because if they don't maintain their what do you call it, the rivers or the streams that are going in, it's gonna block and it's gonna affect other homeowners. I mean, there's something there that, one homeowners association's negligence can impact a whole neighborhood. So there should be some kind of inspection,
Manager and I earlier discussed coming back, I think January, with a workshop or a lengthy discussion about just different options. So
Like
these
code
are things,
violation type stuff.
but really centered around drainage, creeks, those
Yeah.
things, so we'll just include that, include both of the issues you're talking about.
I mean, I don't think we can address, I mean, there's so many, private-owned properties and creek issues that I don't think the city's capable of tackling it, but if we at least kind of tried to be ahead of the curve and at least notify communities or at least take care of our own areas.
But the critical ones should be addressed, inspected, or,
Yeah, we'll come back. This issue is not unique to Safety Harbor. Maybe some of the ways it's been handled are a little more unique, but our plan, what we discussed today, actually was just a variety of solutions and addressing all the different issues that have been raised, privately owned, publicly owned, everything. So that's fine.
And happy to discuss with Public Works Director, which I have a little bit about providing the list about city-owned stormwater drainage features and how that's maintained and the policy we follow from Florida FDEP. And I'm happy to present that as well to the City Commission.
Super.
And could I just say, I appreciate that because what I'm hearing is also something that probably Renee's already doing. She probably
That's
has
what I
a
was kind of wondering. I was like, I didn't know whether to.
I want to call her up and say, come on, Renee, but there will be a time.
There will be a time,
She can say
absolutely.
what
We'll
you're
have
doing.
a notice time too, because this is important to people, so that way there isn't a discussion that happened that wasn't noticed. So,
Thank you. And I look forward to the mayor's breakfast on Friday. Hopefully, you guys will do something that's humiliating or funny or something, right? No? Maybe not?
We're not funny. So cross that one off.
Oh, well, all right.
It's
Well,
not as good as when you
people
were
are-
mayor.
people
You guys
are
have
going
the
for the
skits and all the
entertainment.
stuff.
You guys have to
we're
entertain
not,
everybody.
We're not where you were back in the day.
I like the competition for tips. I hope you beat them.
Well, we lost last year, so we'll
I
see
don't
what we
think
can
we
do.
did, though. I think you were mod, or you were.
No,
home
we
rule.
lost.
We did, really?
Yeah, we lost. I
Wow.
remember.
That's all I got.
All
Thanks.
right. So we got boom, boom. We're changing the order up a little this time, so sorry. Commissioner Burnett?
All right, guys. Mine's pretty quick. There's got so many festivities this upcoming weekend. I'm unfortunately going to be out of town. I'm going to miss it all, but I will be with you in spirit. I was looking forward to the mayor's breakfast because I got to go to that while I was campaigning last year and be a part of it. And the tree lighting, I think Andy and I signed each other's petitions at the tree lighting last year. So I was really looking forward to kind of coming back around now that I'm in this seat and getting to enjoy some of these festivities. But unfortunately, I'm going to miss it this year, but I'll be with all of you in spirit. And I hope everybody else comes out and enjoys and spends their money on all of our downtown merchants and has a great time.
Where are you going to be?
I will be in Branson, Missouri, celebrating my in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary. So we're going to have a good time. It'll be cold. Thanksgiving was such a great time. I was lucky enough to have friends come in from out of town that used to live here, and we stayed put, and we had to do all of the Safety Harbor things for them because that's what they came back here to experience. So I was in and around town all Thanksgiving holiday, and just the entire community is so amazing. We went to Crooked Thumb for their big bonfire and s'more roasting party, and the amount of people that were there, they had really great music, and just a great time. And you saw so much of the community out and about, and so many families wanted to spend time in this community. I was really impressed seeing so many people around here over the weekend. I did not make it to the Gobble Wobble.
I saw your wife.
My wife went in my place, but I'm always happy to hear that was a good turnout. I'm very proud of our city for being such a active place. You see people exercising and running these events all the time. They're always so well attended. So I'm glad that you saw her there. We also went to Folly Farms. We met up with a bunch of friends at Folly Farms, friends and kids, and that was my first time being there since the Christmas decorations were up, and really impressed at just how good that whole place looked. So loved Folly Farms. Also, the star fruit trees are putting out a lot of fruit right now. So if you haven't been to Folly Farms and caught the star fruit trees, get out there and grab a handful. And I've got a few sitting on my counter getting ripe right now. So that was really good. Land development workshop, Josh, you mentioned you may have an update for us when it's your turn on dates. Okay, so we'll get to that when you're up. But But I would support your comments, Vice Mayor, on digging in during that to help protect our trees, especially in these vacant lots where people are coming in and building. Whatever we can do to minimize the impact on our canopy, I totally agree. So interested in, or looking forward to those discussions. Also, thank you for bringing up the creeks. That's been on my mind as well, and I'm happy to have a lengthier discussion. I agree with both of you on city property maintenance ongoing so that we can chip away at it, and something to protect one property from the other, if that's an inspection or something like that. I'm in favor of finding out what our options are there. So I know, Josh, you and I, in our one-on-ones talked, I think staff is working pretty hard at getting us something. When we reach the point that we can have that discussion, I mean, just an inventory of all the properties affected and some of our other options to get in there and mitigate this thing before, with the money and resources that we do have now. So just wanted to let you know I'm looking forward to that as well. So I think that's all I've got for you today, and we'll see everybody on the next one.
Commissioner Diaz?
Very glad to see that the United Smokehouse got a grant. You know, I'm really a big fan of the United Smokehouse. I also had the privilege of eating at the new Italian restaurant, Osterio Polani. Very good, excellent. Great mood. It's really unbelievable how they just reshaped the whole vibe inside that structure. But it's great to have, you know, now we got an all protein place like the United Smokehouse, an Italian place, we got a French place. So it's growing and growing, which is great. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving last week, and now 'tis the season where there's one activity after another. This week is jam-packed, as Commissioner Burnett said. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there, and also best wishes to the DC Panini on his recovery from his illness. Thank you.
So, just kind of reiterate what some of you all said. Looking forward to seeing you all at either the mayor's breakfast. No one mentioned the tree lighting. The tree lighting on Friday evening, and then we got the holiday parade. So, a lot of good stuff. And again, best wishes to DC Josh Padini. He had to get a blood clot and had surgery today. So, keeping him in our thoughts and prayers. That's all I got.
Great. First, hurricane season is over. So ended this past weekend. We're grateful for that. So definitely, and on behalf of Commission, on behalf of all staff, thank you for the allowance on the vacation buyback. We're very thankful for that. Just a reminder, our next meeting, December 16th. Pull it out of your closet, your favorite ugly holiday sweater, and show it off. Mayor and Commissioners and Vice Mayor, the first meeting in Monday is scheduled for January 6th. Historically, the commission cancels that meeting. At this time, there is no item on the January 6th agenda. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, would you like me to bring that back up at the next meeting? Would you like to digest that, or would you like to take action on that now?
You want us to cancel it? Is that
I'm-
what you're saying?
Whatever the will of the
Are you
commission
leading
is.
us?
Let's cancel
Let's deal with it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, use that gavel, say cancel.
Okay.
I was gonna say let's show up and just figure something out, but no, I'm kidding. Let's cancel it.
Okay.
So I think we're all in agreement, right?
Yes.
Will do. And then Commissioner Burnett, you were right, it was on my list. Land Development Code Workshop, February 24th at 6 p.m. and I still owe the group an email on that, but I will get that out. And that is all I have.
Sarah?
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.
Thanks.